Okay, today is
Sex Change Saturday.
I want that to be the permanent stinger. So what is this? A bunch of crazy videos?
Well, there's a lot of internet drama going on, and if you follow like Kendrick Lamar and Drake, Blake Lively, and accountability. And
all the time.
They not like us. They not like us.
The big one, though, are lesbians versus trans dudes angry they won't hook up with them.
Lesbians, a trans dude, meaning a woman who thinks she's a man?
No, dudes pretending to be women, mad that lesbians won't hook up with them.
So the men pretending to be women are mad that the lesbians won't hook up with them.
Yes.
It's not the lesbians who are angry at the men who think that they're women, that the men who think that they're women won't hook up with the lesbians.
And I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve.
Exactly.
Got it. I think.
If you're cis and you won't date trans folks, you're a transphobe. Now if that made you mad, maybe it's your prejudices that you need to probe. No matter the reasons you've got, you're reducing us to when we disrobe. And that kind of thinking ain't sophisticated, it's more like microbes. But transphobia is transphobia, and you won't get a pass when we're through.
When we're through?
We're human beings, not sex organs, cis lesbians, I'm talking to you.
You won't get a pass for not sleeping with me when we're through. You won't get a pass.
You will sleep with me. I'm a beautiful woman. And you, other women, you will sleep with me. Or else you're a trans. You won't get a pass for that when we're through.
This is your beautiful pride culture, folks. That guy,
It is man.
I am told, is allegedly a Northwestern professor. That can't be real. Is that real?
Allegedly.
That cannot be real.
There's no community notes correcting it.
All right, I'm going to say allegedly, because there are like 3 schools you can send your kids to in this country anymore. What is this, Ave Maria, Hillsdale, Liberty, I guess, Franciscan. What? Next one.
Quick reminder to some cis lesbians out there, but please stop centering your lesbianism around penis disgust.
Nobody wants to see your dick, dude.
I'm not saying that any trauma that you have around them isn't valid, but I am saying that it shouldn't define your lesbianism. The widespread penis disgust that a lot of cis lesbians have is actually really transmisogynistic because it makes trans feminine lesbians like myself feel really disgusting just for existing as lesbians in the body that we do. It also creates a lot of pressure for trans feminine lesbians to get bottom surgery, which is very scary and expensive when we otherwise wouldn't, just to feel valid within the lesbian community and receive support and not feel disgusting. So please stop and check your transmisogyny, since there's other stuff too.
I don't know if this is parody or not. It's so fluent that I think it's parody, but also I guess it's so fluent that maybe it's not. Like, because either it was all scripted out, the trans feminine disgust of the trans misogyny from either it was scripted out perfectly or
What the hell?
the thing is, if this were parody, that guy is Brando.
And that I do not forgive.
You know, I mean, that because he didn't crack once. You actually, the fact that we have phalluses.
And that you don't like that really makes us feel like kind of awkward in our lesbianism.
Yes, you probably should feel awkward in your lesbianism. You are. This is like Monty Python. Next one.
Yes, genital preferences are always transphobic. You're welcome.
No one asked you.
No, but seriously, deciding that you don't want to be intimate with someone because of the genitals they have is transphobic. This means that this person is not open to dating trans women, which invalidates their womanhood.
It's every man's right to have babies if he wants them.
But you can't have babies!
Don't you oppress me.
Not only that, it makes assumptions about the way that trans people are going to want to use those genitals. The idea that trans people use the body parts that they have in the same way that cis people with those same body parts do.
This is revolting, this conversation.
Say it with me. Genital preferences are always transphobic.
Okay. So the worthwhile thing that this person is saying is that preferences aren't everything. This is actually interesting and correct. Though this person, who I think is a woman, is using the, I don't know, is using that argument to the opposite of the truth, which is, she says, if you have preferences, if you're a woman and you don't want to sleep with a man, even a man who thinks that he's a woman, you're phobic. That's awful. You don't have the right to do that.
You are going to have sex with me.
No, James, I don't want to.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Okay, yes.
You have to sleep with the dude. So maybe it's a man. I don't know. Sure about Again, there's intentional ambiguity here. However, the conservative would say the same kind of thing, which is just because you have a preference, that doesn't justify your desire to sleep with a person. In other words, if you're a man and you want to do stuff like that with another man, the conservative would say, look, you're going to do whatever you want, but maybe you shouldn't. You don't have to. You don't have to act on that desire. If you're a lady and you want to do something a little odd with another lady, I guess you can, but you don't have to do that. Your preferences do not determine your behavior because you're a rational creature and you can make choices in accord with abstract conceptions of justice and reality. Okay. Furthermore, if you're a man who desires to be a woman, who has a preference to be a woman, you don't have to pretend to be a woman. Oh. You can tether yourself to reality. But this argument is actually the best one I've heard so far, which is, hey, preferences aren't everything. You're right. Preferences aren't everything. Preferences are subjective. Preferences can be divorced totally from reality. What will be stronger, what is more likely to guide you into flourishing, is to ground your behavior on reason and to bring your subjective preferences and your repetitive will into line with your reason so that you're being led by your rational will and you're doing things that are normal and conducive to your happiness. Right now, go to hallow.com/Knowles. As we enter into the holy and penitential season of Lent, the Church calls us to draw closer to our Lord through 40 days of prayer, fasting, and sacrifice. This year, Hallow, the #1 Catholic prayer app, is making that journey even more meaningful with their special Pray 40 challenge, The Way. Join thousands of Christians worldwide, guided by an incredible lineup of faithful voices. Hollywood stars Mark Wahlberg and Chris Pratt will lead you through powerful challenges in surrender and sacrifice. Experience soul-stirring prayer sessions with Jonathan Rumi and Sister Miriam James. Every Sunday, Father Mike Schmitz will nourish your spirit with his inspiring homilies, complemented by remarkable true stories of faith that will strengthen your own journey. It's never too late to begin this transformative experience. Right now, Hallow is offering an exclusive deal. Get 3 months free when you sign up at hallow.com/Knowles. When you download the Hallow app, you will discover a treasure trove of spiritual resources, guided prayers, peaceful meditation, sacred music, and so much more. You need to be holy, and to be holy, you need to pray. So start your Pray 40 journey today at hallow.com/KNOWLES.
I've realized that I've hurt the trans community, even though that was never my intention.
I hate what you've done to us!
When I initially responded to that tweet, I was just trying to defend my community. Lesbians face a lot of hatred from people within our community and from, straight people.
No fear, I want to be a lesbian.
I never intended to hurt anybody. I thought that this was just a common opinion. And I also realized that using the terms of female genitals and male genitals was offensive. I thought that they were just neutral medical terms that everybody used, but apparently not.
From penis to vagina.
In a video in the comment section, I asked for alternatives to those words because I figured out that they were not appropriate. And I also never meant to agree with the TERF. I didn't check the username. As many of you know, I get thousands of comments a day. I don't really have time to look at the username.
Aren't I the popular one?
So I had no idea. Otherwise, I wouldn't have responded to it. I personally have been not comfortable with the genitals associated with people who are assigned male at birth.
An enormous wank.
Ever since I was a kid, I've never really been comfortable with it.
Huge.
Pecker! I simply wouldn't be able to date somebody with those parts.
Really?
There's all this intentional ambiguity, but I get this is a woman who says, I don't want to date a man who says that he's a woman.
Dick.
Because I guess she's a lesbian. Notice the she goes, ever since I was a little kid, I've been uncomfortable with male genitals.
Private!
Lesbians are statistically much more likely than other people to have suffered abuse as children. Trans-identifying people are much more likely than other people to have suffered abuse as children. The fact that she can say, since I was a little kid, I've really had this problem with the genitals of the opposite sex,
Johnson,
would seem to insinuate maybe this was a problem there. And in her defense, she's saying, it seems to be insinuating, okay, I've suffered some kind of trauma and I don't want to have normal relations. And then the pro-trans side is saying,
well, you have to. You have to. Baby, I'm going to re-traumatize yourself.
And the whole thing is just so perverse and kind of predictable. But no one's allowed to, at least in the popular culture, no one's really allowed to state the hard truths as to how things have gone awry. You're not even allowed to say that it's gone awry. All you can do is make all of these apologies for making any kind of normative claim at all, as she is doing. Keep going.
It just brings up too much for me. It would be a bad relationship for both of the people involved. I would happily date a post-op trans woman as long as she was a butch, because that's my type.
What isn't sexy about other butches?
Oh my God.
I've also never excluded trans women from my discussions on feminism. I've argued with my dad a multitude of times trying to tell him that trans people deserve rights and deserve to have their pronouns respected.
My pronouns are he, he.
I also did a presentation in 10th grade about how trans people should be in the military. I'm sorry to any of those who I offended. It was never my intention. You are by no means obligated to accept my apology. This was just an explanation of my intentions, and I'm really sorry. When I made the comment agreeing with the TERF, which again, I had no idea that she was a TERF, I didn't look at her username. In my head, I was thinking, it does sound vaguely reminiscent of conversion therapy to make somebody like something that they just don't.
Conversion therapy. This part at the end is a really silly claim. It says, it sounds reminiscent of conversion therapy to make someone like something that they don't. So you're trying to get me to like men, but I don't like men. So stop trying to put me through conversion therapy. The term conversion therapy is a very silly term. It's a polemical term because all therapy is conversion therapy. All therapy. I know we're told now by both political parties, conversion therapy is terrible. All therapy is conversion therapy. No one in principle goes to the therapist and says, hey, I got all these problems, doc, and I want you to not change me at all. I got all these problems. I'm really, really troubled, but make sure you don't change my mind or behaviors about anything. I want to remain exactly as I am, doc. That's why I'm here at therapy.
Shut the hell up and don't bother me again.
The point of therapy, in principle, is to change your mind about something, change your feelings about something, change your behaviors in some way. That is what therapy exists for. Now, it's ironic that today, most people who go to therapy for years and years and decades actually don't want to change anything. They just want a drug dealer. They don't actually want a therapist. So they say, hey, I got all these problems. Can I have some Xanax, please? Thank you. Thanks, doc. I'll be back next week.
Oh, for God's sake. Again we go.
But in principle, at least, the point of therapy is to change your mind about something. But if you refuse to change your mind, or if you refuse to believe that there's even an objective truth that you might change your mind to, you're probably not going to get very far, and you're going to remain confused and troubled, as these people are. I'm Michael Knowles. This is The Michael Knowles Show. See you tomorrow.
Oh, and Mary Margaret showed me her penis.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They're pals. They're kids. They're evil. They want to hurt you. They not like us. They don't like us, and they're not like us.